DIHA, hi guys, it's Jeanet and welcome back to my channel, and today I have a special guest and it's Kictor and she's back and we're finally talking again, like via video. I mean, we keep in contact on Instagram, but this is our first video since the Grandmasters of a Demonic Conversation. I'm still in the process of uploading that backlog, but if you want to check it out, it is somewhere on my channel. But yeah, she is here, and if you are interested, we did a part 1 of this on her channel and we kind of were just going nuts about the new released chapters for the Shi Manhua, and it was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
It's honestly the best, and being able to discuss it with you now is also the best. But on my channel, we're going to be taking a little bit more of a serious approach to it, so we're still going to be going through it again, but kind of more discussing Wang Xing's developing relationship and kind of also a little bit what we think each of them is going through in these 2 chapters, because it's quite intense emotionally, not just physically. So yeah.
We kind of brought this up a little bit, but something that MXTX does so well is make like romance and plot like equal, or there's not like you're just reading this because it's a smutty romance book and you're not just reading it because it has a really good plot. Like, it has both of those things, right?
Exactly. And like, I was actually thinking about this when I was prepping for it today, is this feels rewarding. You know, I rarely ever read books where it feels like a genuine reward for the couple to get to this point, like whatever point that might be, not necessarily sleeping together like it is in this, but like, you know, the climactic points of the relationship. This feels like such a reward because, you know, especially with Lang Wangji, like, you know how far he had to come in order to be vulnerable in this way. Even if he was drunk while it was happening, you know, he still has a presence of mind to be willing to be that vulnerable with Wei Ying and take that chance.
And we had to read through and like witness all of the repressed urges and all of the repressed thoughts, and like that's there like in the text, it's there in the characters, and this is finally like an explosion of all that repression, and it's so rewarding.
It's everything. It is great. So I kind of want to just quickly go through some of the, shall we say, highlights in each chapter. We don't have to go through the entire thing again. And all this art is just so cute. But also, okay, this is one thing that I kind of wanted to mention to you, because I don't know if you know about this yet. Like, it's hard to keep track of what you know about and what you haven't seen yet because of the weird ways in which you've consumed this.
Yes, I've consumed it in the most censored way possible. So I know most of the plot points, but I actually don't know all of the relation plot points. Because the way it's in the Donghua, that plot and romance, the romance is taken out. And what MXTX does is it's such an equal thing that it kind of feels like you don't get the full picture without it.
Exactly. So just a little bit of context here. When they go on their escapades, stealing chickens and doing all of that crazy things, is basically because way back when, Wei Ying to Lang Wangji was like, oh, you're missing out, I do all of these great things and so on. And honestly, the way I read this and interpret it, and I think a lot of people interpret it, is Lang Wangji wants to be equal to Wei Ying. He doesn't want to miss out on any of the experiences that Wei Ying has had. He kind of wants to have that commonality with him so that he can understand the joy that Wei Ying felt experiencing that. And so, like, it's so stupid, but having this be the build up to their big night, the like Lang Wangji in his own weird way trying to communicate with Wei Ying about, like, I'm sad that I missed out on this part of your life.
Yeah, he's like, back then I was so strict while you were silly, but deep down I actually want to do everything with you. I want to do graffiti with you. I want to steal chickens and be an idiot with you as long as it's with you.
Yeah. The only thing that I just realized they left out of this is Wei Ying like going back and writing his name alongside Lang Wangji's.
He does that?
He does that!
Stop. That is so cute.
So, anyway,
That is so special.
I don't feel like we focused enough on like Wei Ying having to haul Lang Wangji away from the wall and him like flailing his sword, trying to continue writing.
And it is the opposite of everything, right? Like, you know, in every episode of The Untamed, I think Lan Wangji literally physically restrains Wei Wuxian from something, and this time it's reversed.
Yeah, like honestly. But also one other thing that I feel like I don't even think about enough, and I wish I spent more brain power on it, because it's honestly, I love it, is the fact that Lang Wangji is willing to get drunk in front of Wei Wuxian, because I mean, he knows he's a bad drunk. You don't like accidentally do some things that I can't mention now because I don't know if it would spoil you, but you don't do all the things that he's done while drunk and not know that you're a bad drunk.
Oh, absolutely. And Lan Wangji, like, he is so powerful and smart that he would not do something if he didn't want to. Like, he would have not put himself in a situation where he would be getting drunk if he did not want to or feel comfortable to. Like, he's a dom. He's okay.
Yeah, so the fact that he's like, I trust you to take care of me. Here, get me drunk.
It says a lot.
Yeah. Like, and it's so stupid because this is what I mean with like Mo Shang Tongshu just rewarding us. Because if we didn't understand Lang Wangji as a character, none of this would have much meaning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It would just be kind of like a silly, stupid scene, but it is so funny, and it's something everybody talks about because it is Lan Wangji.
Okay, then I need to get your thoughts on what do you think was going through Lang Wangji's head when he was just like, clothes off, in bath, Wei Ying, attend to me.
Yeah, like I almost feel like, is it him like tiptoeing the line of like, this doesn't actually seem as gay as it is, because deep down his like true urge is like he is so attracted to Wei Wuxian. He's like in love with Wei Wuxian, obviously, would love to see Wei Wuxian all over him naked, you know, but he's still able to, it's almost like he's being coy and like a, yeah, you can bathe me, but that's not in his character to act all like gay like that, you know? It's just like, bathe me.
Yeah, I actually kind of would agree with you, especially because there's, even in the panels, there's like an emphasis on his silence. He's like, he's saying it, but he's not actually voicing it. So there's room for Wei Ying to turn him down if he really wanted to.
Yeah, because they're both sensitive little babies. They're the most powerful men in the freaking world, and they are sensitive little babies who don't want their crush to deny them. So they're acting stupid.
Yeah. That's the best thing.
Terribly relatable and amazing to read.
And like, they're one of the few where I completely get and can believe, and I'm not even really that mad about all the miscommunication that happens between them in the scene, because honestly, it's so in character for them, and I kind of want to smack them over the heads, but I love them too much.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it's a contrived miscommunication, like, oh, Wei Wuxian walked in on Lan Wangji with the nanny, like something stupid like that. Like, it feels very in character, and the reason why they think the things they do makes complete sense because of their upbringing or what happened or their experiences together.
Yeah, and like, it's kind of sad because I feel like there's still, personally, I think there's still a little part of Wei Ying that just kind of can't believe that Lang Wangji cares for him as much as he does. So
yeah,
there's that part as well of him.
Sad.
Yeah.
It's like a serious self-deprecation of like, Lan Wangji is so good and I'm so bad. Why would he care for me?
Yeah, I don't want to taint him. I just hate it, but I get it.
Oh.
I can't get over like stop, I won't bath, and then his face.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this part? Because Wei Wuxian being Wei Wuxian, you might think he would be eager to or jump in and stuff, but do you think this is still a little bit of that, like, Lan Wangji obviously isn't meaning this in like a sexual way. He obviously isn't meaning this in like a flirty way. That's why it's like, ew, I'm not gonna jump in the bath with you.
Yeah, I think it's partly that of him like feeling guilty for viewing Lan Wangji in a way that he isn't convinced is reciprocated.
So Wei Wuxian is all like, I'm not gonna jump in the bath. I'm not gonna jump in the bath. Do you think that's him being like, obviously Wei Wuxian, or obviously Lan Wangji doesn't mean it in a flirty way, so I have to act like, you know?
I don't even think it's that as much as it's like I feel so guilty. I don't want to put him in a situation that I'm gonna remember differently and interpret differently than he obviously intends it. And I think it's also that thing of like, damn, I got him drunk. I have to take responsibility. I don't want to take advantage of him.
That's a great point. Yeah, Wei Wuxian, I think, really doesn't want to take advantage of him.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because I think at the start he got him drunk and he was like trying to get up the courage to confess and everything like that. And then things started getting serious and suddenly it's like, okay, this was not in the plan. What do? Bi panic,
Yeah.
you know. So I think it's probably like a little bit of a mix of both and him trying to rein the situation back in.
Yeah, it's like out of an abundance of care.
I'm kind of intrigued. What do you think about like what's going through Lan Wangji's head here when he starts like just acting like a child, honestly?
Yeah, I think maybe he's kind of in that like that drunk mode where he's like, if you don't get what you want, it's like upsetting. And so he's like, I'm gonna go do graffiti. I'm gonna go steal chickens. Wei Wuxian's gonna come in the bath with me. Wei Wuxian's not gonna come in the bath with me.
I love the way you're explaining it because like it just how do you communicate the emotions so well through your voice? Yeah, I think that seems pretty accurate, like, honestly, but I kind of love it because by all accounts this man should be the most boring person on this planet, and yet you put him and Wei Ying together and it's just magic, and he's so funny when he's with Wei Ying.
Yeah, he is.
They just bring out the best in each other, I'm assuming. I don't know how to discuss him just standing up and being like, I object to you leaving.
Just straight up, I object, actually. You're wrong. I said get in the bath. What part of that did you not understand?
Like, there's really nothing serious to analyze it, but just the fact that he was like, this is the next step.
I love what Wei Wuxian's like, well, fuck, like, reaction to like, oh my, that's a cock! Like, that actual, like, video.
No, I find it so funny how, like, he's literally, like, dealing with a child because he's like, why? It's so dirty if you don't bath.
It's like, you know this. Again, this is like Wei Wuxian really being like, no, I'm being like I'm like parenting him, I'm being a good friend. No, you're gonna be so dirty in the bath. It's not because I'm not gonna be okay if I see your dick for any longer.
Oh goodness. Like, I love the duality that we see here in his like personality, because on the one side, like, you see the caring side coming out, and I think this is the most prominent you ever see the caring side, because usually there's like a lot of like trying to cover it up by being you know, clever about it in some way or another, and here he's actually being a lot more straightforward than he usually is. And then at the same time, you still have him like trying to play gay chicken with Lan Zhan, being like, do you want me to help you bath?
Yeah, it's very interesting how he like is like, no, I'm good, I'm not taking advantage, but he can't help that like, but why do you want me to?
I think that's like the funniest thing to me about his character because he's so flirty and everything, and then in reality he's such a like he's such a virgin because he's like, okay, no, I'm totally fine with pushing everyone's boundaries, but then the moment they push back, I run away.
Yeah, 1000%.
Shall we skip to the much more serious taking care of him in the bath? Well,
Yeah, that's a really good scene, actually. Very introspective moment.
yeah, I love that we get to see this because this to me more than everything that's gonna happen after this builds the tension between them for me because it's such a soft moment. Like I really love the soft moments between them where you can really see that it's more than just physical intimacy. You know, there's an emotional connection. There's an emotional understanding between them that magically disappears the moment they need to communicate about something important. But anyway,
Yes, it's because it's in his own head. Like this moment of intimacy, it's not like cheapened by like a more like yaoi reaction that's like, oh my god, I'm touching Lamwonji's skin. Like we don't need to go through that at all. That was already in the previous panels. Now we're actually in like a intimate reflection of his thoughts, which is like so delicious.
and like the fact that you don't even really like here they don't have any like thought bubbles or anything like that. You just see their reactions and the way that they look at each other. And you know that there's probably like an understanding that's going on between them. We kind of both want this, but with Wei Ying being too scared to initiate it and Lang Wonji at least having no inhibitions at the moment because he's too drunk.
Yeah, and it's like this is before obviously we know what happens next, but like in this moment I feel like to them it would feel like such a secret, like sacred, like you're getting away with this. Like we are both getting away with more than we deserve right now. Like this softness, this intimacy, like it's like I don't want to move because I don't want to break this moment.
Yeah, that was so well put. Thank you. But like I totally agree because as well I think because Lang Wonji is drunk, Wei Ying feels a lot safer exposing his vulnerability to Lang Wonji because like he knows that there's less of a chance of being rejected, and if it is, then he probably won't remember because he doesn't remember the previous times that he was drunk, like what happened.
Yeah, he's got like a safety reset button if he gets rejected. It's like, oh, it never happened, it's fine, I don't have to ruin our friendship, which is so sad. Like I feel like also that's so relatable of like having a crush on someone that you would genuinely rather be friends with than ruin it and make it weird. Like I know what that feeling is like. I feel like that's just high school.
Yeah, I feel like probably every single person who like is interested in romance in any way, shape, or form has had that experience at some point.
It's essentially Wei Wuxian is like in love with his best friend, right? So he's like, I don't want to fuck that up. I'm not gonna fuck that up. This guy cares about me. No one cares about me, but this guy does. I don't want him to suddenly not care about me because he thinks I'm like a fucking pervert.
Yeah, and I think that's like the worst part is especially because this is after his reincarnation, so he's never felt this alone before in his entire life. Like Lang Wonji has been the only one who's been a constant beside him since he woke up again.
No one else in the world would ever understand.
Yeah.
Understand not wanting to ruin that connection. 1000%.
Yeah.
Even though you really want to see his dick.
Oh goodness. Okay, now let me hear, because I don't know if you've found out about this yet. Let me hear your theories about how why what's going on with that mark on his chest.
The mark on his chest. Okay, I'm so bad at remembering. Didn't the Wen clan do it because were they gonna do something bad to like the girl?
That was to Wei Ying.
Oh, so why does Lan Zhan have one?
Yeah, that's Wei Ying's question as well.
Was he like, wait a minute, was Lan Zhan like, I'm gonna be matchy with him?
Do you want an answer?
Yeah, tell me.
He got drunk and was a bit lonely, and he basically went, I want to be matchy with my, I think at that point, dead long lost love. If I'm not.
Stop. He straight up got a tattoo of his dead ex crush on his chest, like
No, it's
in a subtle way.
It's worse than that. He found the branding iron that was used on Wei Ying, stashed away.
Same one.
And used it on himself.
That is so romantic. I'm not okay. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop. Huachong just has Shilan's name on his arm, but this is way more significant. Dude, I didn't know that. That is genuinely so romantic and sad. Like the angst of that, like of not having Wei Wuxian and like doing something so like honestly stupid like that just to feel like closer to him, like
the angst of it.
It is so angsty. Like I can imagine the sadness of wanting to feel close to someone dead and doing something like that, like so drastic and like so stupid, like branding yourself. So being like subtle enough that it's not like getting a Wei Wuxian face tattoo, you know? It's very personal because only a handful of people would know Wei Wuxian had that as well, right?
Yeah. Okay. So just because that clearly didn't hurt you enough, shall I tell you, like, because I don't know if you remember the exact circumstances, like what Wei Ying said when he got that brand because he was protecting the girl.
Yeah.
He was like, well, you know, she has a pretty face, it would have been ruined, like, I'm a man, I'm used to getting scars, type of thing. And then Lan Wangji said something to the effect of, why would you have a reminder of someone like that engraved on your body forever?
Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm not okay.
Okay. But okay, this is insane because I'm so used to consuming media that is not actually genuinely gay, but they like put in little hints and stuff. Like if this wasn't canonly gay, but the author like wanted it to be, that would be a moment where you're like so certain of the romance. You know what I mean? Like that is so undeniably romantic. But the fact that it genuinely is a canonly gay series is amazing. And it's just a genuinely actual romantic thing, you know, like, oh my god.
And you know what kind of breaks me as well is Lan Wangji had that happen after he went to like drink to forget about Wei Ying, and I mean him drinking on his own is already strange enough. And then Lan Qichen finds him and like talks to him, and it just breaks me to think about Lan Qichen having to find his brother like that, knowing full well what like Lan Wangji's feelings are for Wei Ying, and it kind of probably being the first time that he's openly acknowledging it to his brother. Yeah. So anyway, enough of that angst.
Oh my god, I need to read the book.
You really do.
This is right up my alley of angst and romance.
If this is hurting your soul, the whip scars are gonna destroy you.
Oh god.
So the scars, let me hear your theories, because I'm curious, because I think you actually have some idea.
Did he take them for Wei Wuxian? Like, did he take the blame for something that actually was Wei Wuxian's thing?
I'm not gonna answer you because I don't want to spoil it unless you're okay with it. But I didn't like.
Is it really good? Like, should I read it myself?
I think you should read it yourself. Yes.
Okay, I will read it and I will report back.
Please do. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that we get to have Wei Wuxian kind of pondering about these scars, and also like showing us.
Know how I got these scars. Sorry.
No. No, but like seriously though, it's so good that they point it out because we have those scenes previously where they were like, oh, you know, punishment for Wei Ying because he jumped over the wall, and Lang Wangji, you know, punished himself as well, which, damn, that was a powerful scene. But if you take that into consideration, the fact that he has scars here might seem relatively inconsequential until we get it from Wei Ying's point of view. This is not like what he and Lang Wangji went through all those years ago, you know, all those years ago. It's not the same level of punishment.
Right, these are like deep, serious scars.
So like, I appreciate the fact that you can see this is upsetting him a lot.
Yeah, like he seems like, what the fuck? Like, and also he's like, the only people that could scar him this deeply would be his uncle or his brother. So that makes even less sense because like obviously he's in good standing with them. So like why the hell would they hit him so hard? Yeah. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
And like I love that we kind of see how much Wei Ying idolizes Lang Zhan even now, even after all the like things that we've seen that makes it clear that Lang Zhan also isn't perfect. You know,
and I guess.
Okay.
Did he do it to himself? Because like Wei Wuxian died and he like feels like he could have stopped it and like the responsibility of that. So he turned to like, he whipped himself.
Do you want an actual answer to that?
Oh, what do you think?
No. That is not the case.
That's not the case. Okay.
I wish I could read that scene with you now, but like I think it's quite a long one, so just get to it as soon as you can, because
just read it, damn it.
Okay, and then what do you think of Wei Ying? Because I'm assuming this is where you first found out about his plan to confess to Lang, or like not confess, but ask Lang Wangji what he thinks of him. So what? Yeah. How did that make you feel? Let's play psychologist. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, so like I guess I didn't know that like Wei Wuxian is aware of his own feelings like this like early on, I guess, like of wanting to confess or something. Like I think I assumed it would just be like one big ending thing up like in TGCF, you know, but like Wei Wuxian is like, nope, I need to know what Lan Wangji thinks of me and I'm going to figure it out. Which is a very Wei Wuxian thing to do, right?
It is quite, but I have to admit this is quite close to the end. I didn't realize we were this close to the end already.
Oh, okay.
Relatively, like there's still quite.
I guess it is chapter 230.
But yeah, like yeah, so early on, 230 chapters in. But yeah, I mean, there's still quite a few things that need to happen. But in terms of the romantic plotline, we're actually quite close to the end of that.
Okay. It's interesting how he came up with a devious plan to get him drunk. Like he had a whole plan about it. Like the Hualien like admittance thing is just like, we didn't plan this. I found out something. You love me. Oh my god, I love you too. Like it's great. Don't worry. But this is like Wei Wuxian's like, I am going to get him drunk and I'm going to ask him a question.
I don't know. I love how even in this, like, this is such a good build up to the follow through of Wei Ying backtracking. Is again like, he obviously got him drunk, because if he asked him, number one, he would be honest because he's drunk, and number two, if the answer wasn't what he was hoping for, again, he has that nice like reset button going for him. So it's depressing how little Wei Ying thinks of himself throughout all of this. But yeah, I'm so excited for the next few chapters. Like, I need you to hear your thoughts when they do come out eventually.
Yes.
Wei Ying like accidentally injuring, well, not injuring, but like slightly injuring Lang Wonji, and then being like, sorry, I was spacing out. I was totally not thinking about like all my emotions.
Don't mind me. I was just thinking about how I need to know if you love me or not.
You know, like, I can just picture this being like the best scene if they were to animate it.
Oh, totally.
Like, the music and the thought processes, like, here, I kind of would have loved to see him like freaking out in a thought bubble just a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know how to analyze the rest of this coherently, so I think we should just talk about it a little bit. Just like the entire rest of basically them starting the process of becoming intimate. I don't know how else to frame it, because we don't actually get that.
Very interesting how it kind of is a little bit of like an explosion. They're in this moment, this moment of intimacy, but it's not like real yet. Like, no one's acknowledged that it's intimate yet, so it's safe. But then I think it's the point where Lan Wonji can't take it anymore, like physically, and he's like sensitive to it, and he says that like, don't touch me. And in my video, I think you said the line that killed me. He's like, he's not saying don't touch me because I don't want you to touch me. He's saying don't touch me because, you should say it again.
Because if you touch me, I'm not going to be able to hold back.
Right? So he's playing it safe. It's like, don't touch me, because if you do. But then this is the thesis of both of their characters, is that Wei Wuxian is like, oh, why? What's gonna happen if I do?
Yeah.
And it's like when an unstoppable force hits an immovable object.
Like, that is the most accurate description of them as a couple ever.
Yeah, so there's just gonna be a giant explosion, which is that like Wei Wuxian can't not push, and Lan Wonji is like literally at his limit. Unfortunately, being completely naked in a bathtub with the love of your life, with the love of like 17 years or whatever, literally touching you so sensually after you just had a really fun time with him all day. You are at your limit at this point.
It's a miracle he lasted this long.
Yeah, truly.
But like, can I tell you like a secret? It's not really a secret, but something in me thinks that that moment where he's like, don't touch me, is where he had started sobering up.
Yeah. Totally. But maybe he's also smart enough in the way that Wei Wuxian is smart enough, where he's like, if we do this and then Wei Wuxian has a bad like reaction to it, I can just be like, I was drunk. But he's actually sober right now.
Yeah, I think that's like exactly it, unfortunately.
They're so stupid. I get it though. But the reason they're acting this stupid is because their feelings are that real. They are that big that they can't be lightly, oh yeah, like I kind of like you. Like it can't be that. It is like all or nothing at this point.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of sad as well, because I think Lang Wonji being like, okay, you know, don't touch me, and then Wei Ying pushing, I think was kind of the moment where Lang Wonji kind of let himself go in terms of his like the emotions he'd been holding back, and not just in terms of like obviously the physical explosion that we got with the poor bathtub, but also just in terms of like why it hurt so much when Wei Ying was like, oh, you know, guys do this all the time, is because he had thought that was the Kate that he'd been looking for and hoping for his entire 17 years.
Yeah. He thought that it was like an admittance of love. It wasn't a purely physical act. And it wasn't. Like,
yeah, it wasn't. But yeah. And of course, like this part, I don't know if you know, but long ago in the novel, Wei Ying was like, no, I've kissed many people, da 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 da. So there's already that bit from Lan Wangji's perspective where he's like, oh, you know, Wei Ying's experienced, which is what makes it even more believable when Wei Ying is like, yeah, no, dudes, bros do this all the time. Two bros just chilling in a bathtub 6 feet apart because they're not gay. It's fine.
Zhan, it wasn't gay because I had my socks on.
But yeah, okay, so just as a final kind of like wrapping up point, tell me your favorite bits about these two chapters.
I think that my favorite scene was honestly when Lan Wangji says like don't touch me, because of the way that you put it, of like that is not him saying don't touch me, it's him saying because I won't be able to stop. Like, oh, that is, oh. And you know what though, it brings into like my second favorite part, which is when Wei Wuxian says, you know, I like it when you're angry.
Oh yeah, that hits hard. That hits so hard.
It's playing into that like role play that they have together of like Brat and Dom, you know, that Wei Wuxian's like clearly super fucking into.
Yeah. I don't know, like I kind of agree with you. I can't think in terms of this, that is just the turning point for everything, really.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I feel like that is the most powerful moment because it's also the moment where Lan Zhan's like, okay, you know, stop, but he's being so vulnerable about it, and it kind of breaks me that Wei Ying realizes it, but he doesn't.
Yes, because we've also have 230 chapters of knowing the truth that is Lan Wangji doesn't want him to stop, but knowing the weight of the fragility of it. It's like, this is so fragile, please stop, because I'm not gonna be able to handle if this doesn't go well. And then Wei Wuxian is like, I am a gremlin now.
Yeah, no, just bulldozing right over that boundary.
That's why their chemistry works so well together. It truly is like they push and pull each other in ways that drive each other insane, but it's like the insanity of like, oh my god, I love you so much, but you're such a fucking idiot. But Wei Wuxian thinks that of Lan Wangji, and Lan Wangji thinks that of Wei Wuxian.
Like, it's so insane to me because I read them, and like as much as I absolutely love the other pairings of MXTX, we know that for me this was the starting point. This was my starting journey with MXTX, and the way that they're just so perfect for each other. Like much like Shilian and Ho Chang, I can't imagine them with anyone else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I love casually shipping anime characters together because they don't have such weighted relationships, but MXTX literally makes it so that like you don't want to split up the main pairing. Like it's not even like fun to imagine them with anyone else because it's so good the way it's intended, you know?
Yeah, like this is the only, her books are the only ones where I'm like, this is better than fan fiction.
Absolutely. And it's why I'm so willing to read like literally like however many books, like 6 books of a single series. Like who does that? Like This is way more than Harry Potter.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not even, like, yeah, there are arcs, but it's kind of like, you know, you want to read this and you want to read all 6 books in one sitting because you don't know where you want to stop. You don't want to stop, you just want to keep going.
Yeah, I'm so thankful to have gotten into this series and for you to bringing a greater light to it. Because if I just watched the anime by myself, dude, I honestly would just be like, yeah, that was the confusing one.
I mean, I can't blame you, honestly. I think you have to know the story inside and out to watch that and be like, yes, everything makes sense. I am not lost at any point.
We've come so far.
We really have, also. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I had an amazing time hanging out with Kictor. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I certainly did. And if you guys are okay with us continuing to lose our minds in coming chapters, let me know, please. I might just end up doing it in any case, because I'm having fun.
Yes, yes.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, as I said, and otherwise, I'll see you guys again next time. ZHENG!